I accidentally hit. I accidentally stopped the video, so I'm restarting. Today is a new day. Wow, it's 4:50, 4:40 p.m. I had a pretty interesting day. As you might know, or as you might not, I have been making some reflections about being a better person, about persevering, about having patience, about being mindful about the self, about being better. And I've also discussed my failures, my temptations, my successes, and my failures. But I feel like I've been failing much more than I've been succeeding. And that's seen through my lack of sleep. I haven't been sleeping very well because I've been stressed, because I've been scared, because I've been giving up. Last night, for example, I had the perfect opportunity to do something, to do something. But there's the moment in time where you have the opportunity to do something, but you feel like it's just pointless. You feel like you'd rather just give up, or you feel like you'd rather just fall because you have time, because you don't need to be urgent. You got it. That's the illusion. That's the illusion. And as a result, I ended up scrolling through social media up until 1 a.m. Then I went to sleep. I woke up. I felt like crap. And I went to school late. And that habit has been happening for the past 15 days. So, in essence, I've been coming to school late 15 times. Either 20 minutes past homeroom or 30 minutes after class. So, I'm missing a lot of school. And it's it's a byproduct of all these habits. It's a byproduct of all these fears, these anxieties, these temptations, these addictions, and also a byproduct of other external factors, such as that of my family and of my mother. Because like I've been raised in a household where with low standards, to say the least. My mom, she's experienced addiction. She has really let herself go since raising me, and I've kind of adopted those low standards, and I've been kind of trying to fight back, but because I have no one to straighten me out, I've just been falling, getting back up, falling, getting back up. Just this cycle of consistent success and failure, success and failure. It's not success, but it's the bridge of success, the precipice of success. But then I feel like I have time, it's okay. Then I let myself go for a bit, and then I fall. And then there are days like this where I fall too deep. I descend too low, and it starts impacting the physical world. Not just beyond my grades or my mental health, but it's actually impacting my attendance. And it's impacting how I live. Days like these are important because they help you realize that you don't have time. You gotta do this now, or you're gonna miss out. And it also it reminds that I do not want to live like this. Because today I've been visited by my year coordinator, and God bless her soul. She was concerned. Why am I missing school? I don't normally miss school. So we had a conversation I had a conversation with her, and it was awkward. It was awkward. What do you say when you miss 15 days of school? Well, I haven't been missing 15 days of school. I have missed a section of my morning for 15 days, and that adds up. And it was like, what do I say? No, I don't want to get into that, but what I can say is that that conversation was very awkward, but beyond that, it opened something in that, and what it opened was the realization that I do not have time. I've been dealing with this problem. Well, honestly, this problem has been existing throughout my life, but I've only recently started tackling it at the age of 13. But I've been failing. I've been giving up. And some might say it's good that you're doing it at the age of 13. But mate, I don't see myself improving. If nothing happens, I don't see myself improving until I'm 30 or 40 or 50. Because there are people who have problems like this in relation to habits, in relation to discipline, or in relation to being better. And they let it last until they're 50. Which is the case with my dad. And it's so easy to just lose, to just fall victim, to just give up. But then when you're there, when you're at rock bottom, you have nothing to fight for. You have no one to be, no one to aspire to, and all you can do is just give up even more, to descend deeper into that cavern, into that deep abyss of submission, into that bubble of bliss. And the more you give in to that fantasy of escaping reality, the more or the less potent it becomes. That can be in YouTube or in film or in drugs. And the more you need from it, the more you crave it, the more you actually rely on the thing to escape. And then your dream doesn't become to be a better person or to be a person you're proud of, but to continue this trail of escape because you believe that being a better person is out of the picture. It's pointless, it's meaningless, it's impossible. And I felt that. But anyways, the goal right now, I've been complaining. I complain here and there everywhere, but what differentiates a man who complains and a man who succeeds, or a man who fails and a man who succeeds, is one complains and the other acts. So, now, I've done stuff like this before, but each and every time I have tried to succeed, I end up biting more than I could chew. That's the truth. I end up biting way more than I can chew. I don't spit it out. I just swallow it, I choke, then I spit it out. Then I throw away the meal. That's what happens. So, action. Here's my whiteboard. And what I want to do is to keep me accountable. That's why I'm recording a video. What I want to do is I want to establish one key thing before I start. And that thing is, it's okay to start small. And I'm writing this down because you can forget it. Because I think for the longest time why I've been failing, why I've been giving up, is because I figured that if I'm not going to go high, if I'm not going to go hard, if I'm not going to go from 0 to 100, then I might as well not do anything at all. Even though I believed consciously that it is superior to start small, I couldn't understand why I couldn't be able to go cold turkey on certain habits. I couldn't understand why I couldn't go from not studying at all to studying 3 hours a day. And I figured that because I couldn't do that I didn't love myself, or I didn't have it, I didn't have the gift, and therefore it was pointless. And a part of me still believes in that, but I come to realize that is a toxic mentality. But beyond that mentality is false, because when you look at all the great people in the world, they have at least had some foundation, whether it be through their parents or through mentors or through conditioning. They've been able to bring themselves up. Because oftentimes I compare myself to people who are really successful. But I only look at their results. I don't look at what got them there. And a part of me does want to be able to go 100% for a long period of time. Not to satiate my ego, not to validate some anxiety, but to know within my heart that I have the capability to do that. Because a part of me doesn't want to be dumb. But that's a separate part. But yeah, it's okay to start small. Because if you go from 0 to 100 too quickly, then obviously it's going to be very displeasurable. It's going to be very difficult, and when it's displeasurable, it becomes such a tedious thing to do, and then you hate it. Like when I was running, for example, I try to wake up at 6 a.m., do 10 push-ups, go out for a run, and I have no backup, you know? Like I would wake up one day and I would do it. And I realized that when I would do it is that I would hate it. I would dread waking up in the morning. I would dread going out for a run. I would dread all these activities. Because I wasn't prepared. Because my body wasn't prepared. Because my mind wasn't prepared. And as a result, I hated doing those things. And then I ended up not doing them at all. Because I didn't want to experience that pain. But then I would do nothing. I'd feel like crap. I'd give in. I find out that hedonism doesn't make me happy. So now I would go back to trying to run, to trying to discipline myself. But then I would experience that same discomfort, that same displeasure when going too quickly. And then I would just go through that cycle again and again and again. And the reason why I wouldn't stick to it is because it hurt too much than I could handle. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't push your limits. Push your limits. That's how you know your capabilities. But it's more important to be consistent than it is to go 100% one day and then do 0 the rest of the way. Life is a marathon, not a distance or kilometer race. If that makes sense. Yeah, but that's just what I wanted to establish. But strategies. A plan. Because if I don't have a plan, then when I'm coming home every day, I'm kind of coming home with a lack of confidence. Because I don't know what's going to happen the day after, and the day after, and the day after. So, how do I rectify that? Well, first of all, I want to establish that I don't like using my phone too often, because time goes way too quickly when you use your phone. I remember I sat on the floor, watched YouTube Shorts, and I kid you not, 30 minutes were like that. My weekends mainly consist of watching YouTube, and days just go way too quickly. That's the thing, I'm just sitting down. Imagine trying to meditate for a day. Same thing, you're sitting down, but one you're exposed to stimuli and the other you're not. And there's a big difference in how you perceive time. So I would like to make it so that after 8 p.m. No phone usage. No phone usage. That's mandatory. Homework, I'm year 11, you know, I have to use my computer and I have to be exposed to that blue light. So that's fine, but I'm not gonna use my phone. And this video is gonna be like a form of accountability. So yeah, no phones and music as well. I get into the habit of, when I'm doing the dishes or when I'm cleaning, I get the temptation to just listen to music. And it's harmless. But what I realize is when I get exposed to music, I take way too long than I need. And now I tend to waste time. And then when I waste time, then I feel unbothered. Then I don't study, and then as a result, because my phone's right next to me because I'm listening to music, it's just so much easier to transition from music to YouTube. So, sorry. I had to cut it out for just a second. I'll make this 2 parts. Because I like this recording. So I don't want to discard it. Where's my thingy bob? What the? I just placed it somewhere. Oh wait. Okay. I'll find it eventually. Unless it's right under my nose. Right here. Here it is. First part. It's after 8 PM, no more phones. Also, Atomic Habits 2-minute rule. We'll make a 5-minute rule. Whenever I have homework, or whenever I come home, at least spend 5 minutes on work. Because I find that when I come home, the pressure is just so much. It's just so difficult. It deters me. And it's not year 11 standards, but it beats nothing. And I think a lot of year 11s don't study. I can't judge, but I want to be better. So I want to take it as slow as possible, because each and every time I do it too quickly, I just fall. So I want to take it as slow as I can, and hopefully that'll make change. Per day, that's the minimum. Doesn't mean like 5 minutes a maximum or minimum. So I could spend maybe an hour or 2 hours if I wanted to. That's just the minimum. And yeah, what else? I don't know. Like reading is very important. As well as 5 minutes, we'll do. Go 2 minutes. 2 minutes of reading a day. I love reading, but it's just I don't get the time, or I don't make the time, I should say, because I have a lot of time. But in regards to work, I would like to wake up at a specific time. So by 7 AM in the morning. 7 AM, I will be up. I'm sick and tired of going to school late. I want change. And I want to be able to wake up at 6 AM, but it starts slow. 7 AM, I will wake up. Okay, really, I really think this through, eh? The main thing that makes this a plan is, well, it's actionable. I can spend 2 minutes, it's time bound, so this will last for a week. So by Friday next week, so let me set up Friday, I will make another video, and I will see whether, or evaluate whether or not I follow these procedures. Friday next week. Week check-in. So yeah, it's not a plan. It's not a plan. You can't see it because it's reverted, but it's just a few dot points. But listen, I've lived too long to. I'm 16. I haven't lived that long, but I've lived. I've I've failed too many times to just give up. And I've bit off more than I can chew too many times than I can count. So I don't care if this isn't crazy or crazy big. When I started running, it was ass. I basically walked my distance because I couldn't pace myself. But eventually I got better. And now I love running. And this will be the same with work and with habits. I will go at my own pace. I will improve through consistency. And eventually, like I do with running, I will be able to love waking up at 6 a.m. I will be able to love being able to work on an assignment, because you know what that means? Because when you take time out of the day to do something for yourself, to run, to exercise, to work even, it's not just doing a chore. It's a testament of your own love for yourself, of your own care of yourself. It's beautiful. And yeah, it's part 1. We'll see what happens at part 2.